Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to chat about mercy and how it shows up in the legend of the white snake, one of China's 4 great folk tales. Let's start by taking a look at the 5th Beatitude. The New International Version of the Bible states, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy." Now, there are a number of different definitions of mercy. In general, I tend to think of mercy as an individual act of forgiveness that takes place when a person who has been wronged forgives someone who has directly wronged them. And usually the person who has been wronged has more power than the person who has committed the offense. For Christians, the greatest example of mercy is God's forgiveness of humanity through the life, death, and resurrection of Christ. However, Webster's dictionary has some other definitions of mercy as well. My favorite is definition number 3, which simply states that mercy is compassionate treatment of those in distress. For example, when my heart is stirred, I might be moved to have mercy on the sick or poor. In short, we are merciful when someone's distress moves us to compassionate action. If we apply that definition to our beatitude, we get, "Blessed are those who treat people in distress with compassion, for they will be treated with compassion when they are in distress." This definition of mercy shows up a number of times in the legend of the white snake. Now, before I dive into a synopsis of the legend of the white snake, it is important to note that there are many different versions of this myth in China. Different communities have adapted this legend to entertain and instruct their people in different ways throughout the ages. In short, the version of the story that I'll share with you today is simply one version of the legend. Okay, here we go. Long, long ago, in Hangzhou City, one of the 8 immortals named Lu Dongbin disguised himself as a street vendor. He stationed himself on the West Lake's broken bridge to sell tangyan, a delicious rice dessert. A young boy named Xuxian was playing nearby and purchased some of the tangyan to satisfy his hunger. Xuxian ate the dessert and went home. But when he didn't feel hungry for the next 3 days, he knew something was wrong. So he ran back to the bridge and asked Lu Dongbin what he'd eaten. The merchant laughed and told the young boy he had eaten immortality pills. Then, without warning, the merchant grabbed the boy, turned him upside down, and caused him to vomit the pills into the lake. Unbeknownst to Lu Dongbin, a white snake spirit who had been practicing Taoist magical arts lived in the water under the bridge. When she saw the pills in the water, she promptly ate them and gained 500 years worth of magical powers. At that moment, the fates of the white snake and Xuxian were linked forever. A tortoise spirit named Fahai also lived near the bridge, and he, like the white snake, was also training in the Taoist magical arts. When he saw the white snake consume the pills and gain 500 years of life, he became very jealous and resentful. One day, some time later, the white snake noticed a struggle on the bridge. A beggar had caught a green snake and was attempting to cut out the snake's gall to sell it at the local market. Immediately, the white snake transformed herself into a woman and bought the green snake from the beggar, thus saving the green snake's life. There is our first act of mercy. From then on, the white snake and the green snake lived as sisters. 18 years later, the white snake and the green snake, who had gained new power, transformed themselves into 2 young women to go to a local festival. As fate would have it, the ladies ran into Xuxian at the broken bridge. It began to rain, so Xuxian, now a handsome young man, lent them his umbrella in a small act of mercy. Over the next few days, Xuxian and the lady white snake fell deeply in love. Eventually, the 2 got married and opened a medicine shop together in a nearby town. In the meantime, the tortoise spirit had also accumulated enough power to take on human form, so he transformed himself into a Buddhist monk named Fahai. And he set out to destroy Xuxian and Lady White Snake's relationship. One day, when Lady White Snake went out on an errand, Fahai approached Xuxian and told him that his wife was a devil snake. Xuxian refused to believe Fahai, So Fahai challenged Suxian to give his wife a special drink to verify whether she was a snake or not. That evening, Suxian tricked his wife into drinking the liquid, and she immediately turned into a white snake. Poor Suxian collapsed to the ground and died of shock. But our story doesn't end there. Rather than retaliate against either Suxian or Fahai for betraying her, Lady Whitesnake and Lady Greensnake set out on a long and dangerous quest to steal a magical herb from Mount Imei. After numerous trials with fabulous characters, Lady Whitesnake secures the herb and restores Suxian to life. This is, yet again, an act of mercy on Lady Whitesnake's part. She acts out of love rather than vengeance. And here comes the fun part. When Suxian is resuscitated and sees his wife standing before him, he confesses his deep and abiding love for her. Even though she was not honest with him about her true nature, Suxian still loves her, and he forgives her for not revealing her true nature prior to their marriage. This, my friends, is also an act of mercy. Our fifth beatitude comes full circle. The merciful Lady Whitesnake has been shown mercy. What fun. Okay, so we're only halfway through the legend. So here's the rest of the legend in a single paragraph. After Suxian confesses his love, Fahai separates the couple again and imprisons Suxian at Jinsen Temple. Lady Whitesnake gets angry and goes to war with Fahai. However, she's defeated because she's pregnant and her powers are limited. Sometime later, Suxian manages to escape anyway, and the couple are reunited at Hangzhou. There, Lady Whitesnake gives birth to their son, Zhu Mengzhao. Unfortunately, Fahai tracks them down again, defeats Lady Whitesnake, and imprisons her in Leithen Pagoda. Suxian is left to raise his son on his own. So Lady Greensnake vows revenge. 20 years later, she gains enough power to free Lady Whitesnake from the pagoda and reunites her with her husband and son. To be clear, each plot point along the way has its own story, filled with magical characters, complications, trials, and lessons. In some versions of the legend, Lady Whitesnake is imprisoned in the pagoda for centuries. However, this ending allows our fifth beatitude to come full circle. Originally, it is Lady Whitesnake who saves the green snake from dying at the hands of the beggar. At the end of our story, it is Lady Greensnake who saves Lady Whitesnake. Once again, the merciful Lady Whitesnake is shown mercy. I know I keep saying this, but I love it when Jesus' words and lessons show up in stories from across the globe. I truly believe that God is working all the time, everywhere, to soften hearts and to deepen human capacity for love. Okay, as the legend of the white snake is a key folk tale in Chinese culture, it shows up in most of Chinese performing arts in some way, shape, or form. Some of the images I've shared with you are from Beijing opera. Some are from recent movies and illustrations, and others are from traditional forms of Chinese shadow puppetry. Since we haven't spent any time exploring shadow puppetry this semester, I want you to watch the linked YouTube video on Chinese shadow puppetry provided for you on Canvas. After you watch the video, click on the Google Arts and Culture link. That'll take you to an exploration of how Shaanxi shadow puppeteers have created unique set pieces and puppets for the legend of the white snake. A final word on empathy. The legend asks us to empathize with Lady Whitesnake and Suxian throughout their journey together. Similar to famous stories in Western literature, Lady Whitesnake and Suxian come from completely different backgrounds that should deter them from falling in love with each other. But despite their differences, their love endures and ultimately inspires us to pursue enduring love as well. Enjoy exploring the rest of the content.